The ocean had always been a place of healing for Claire. After her father's passing, she rented a small beach cottage in Southport, a quiet town in North Carolina where time seemed to pause. She told herself it was only for the summer, but something in her heart whispered it would be a summer that changed everything. Claire's days were simple. Morning walks on the shore, afternoons sketching in her worn notebook, evenings watching the sun melt into the horizon. She didn't come here for love. She had sworn off love after her last heartbreak. Yet love has a way of finding you when you least expect it. One evening, while watching the tide rise, Claire noticed a man repairing an old wooden boat near the pier. His hands were steady, strong, and rough with work, yet there was a gentleness in the way he touched the vessel, as if it were alive. She lingered, quietly sketching him, hoping he wouldn't notice. He did notice. Looking up with a faint smile, he caught her eyes. "Beautiful evening," he said, his voice carrying over the waves. She nodded, embarrassed to be caught staring. "Yes, it is," she replied softly. That was all. No introduction, no small talk, yet the moment lingered longer than the setting sun. The next day, she saw him again, carrying nets along the pier. This time, he approached. "You're the artist," he said. She laughed nervously. "I'm not much of one. Just sketches." He tilted his head. "Still, you see the world differently. That's a gift." His words disarmed her, and for the first time in months, she smiled without effort. His name was Daniel, a fisherman, born and raised in Southport. Life had not been kind to him. He had lost his wife to illness 5 years ago, leaving him to raise his young daughter, Lily, alone. Despite the pain behind his eyes, there was warmth in his voice and sincerity in every word. Claire learned that Lily loved drawing, just like her. One afternoon, Daniel brought Lily to meet her. The girl shyly hid behind her father's leg before handing Claire a seashell. "For you," Lily whispered. That small gesture broke something open in her guarded heart. For the first time, she allowed herself to feel. Days turned into weeks, and the three of them began to spend time together. Walks by the shore, picnics under the lighthouse, evenings filled with laughter. Claire found herself sketching them often, capturing moments she wished could last forever. Daniel, too, seemed lighter, as if her presence had awakened a joy long forgotten. One night, as a summer storm approached, Daniel offered to walk her home. The rain came suddenly, drenching them both. They ran, breathless and laughing, until they found shelter beneath the porch. Lightning split the sky, but all Claire felt was the nearness of Daniel, his eyes searching hers. The world fell silent. In that pause between thunder and rain, their lips met, soft, hesitant, yet full of unspoken promise. It wasn't just a kiss. It was a beginning, and though Claire's heart still carried scars, in that moment she understood love does not wait for perfect timing. It comes like a storm, fierce, unexpected, unforgettable. The morning after the storm, Claire awoke to the sound of gulls outside her window, their cries echoing over the surf. Her lips still tingled with the memory of Daniel's kiss, a reminder that life had shifted in a way she hadn't expected. She told herself not to read too much into it, yet her heart betrayed her with a quiet hope that refused to be silenced. When she stepped outside, the sun was already warming the sand. Daniel was waiting near the pier, Lily by his side, clutching a sketchbook. "She wanted to show you something," he explained with a sheepish grin. Lily flipped through the pages, her childish lines capturing seashells, boats, and waves. Claire knelt, admiring every drawing as if they were priceless. "You're an artist, Lily," she said softly. Her shy smile was worth more than words. From then on, their days fell into a rhythm. Mornings were spent by the water, Lily collecting shells while Claire sketched and Daniel repaired his nets. Afternoons brought laughter, shared meals, and the kind of easy conversation that made hours feel like minutes. Slowly, Claire felt herself being woven into the fabric of their lives, not as a visitor, but as though she belonged. Daniel was different from the men Claire had known before. He didn't fill silences with empty chatter. Instead, he carried a quiet strength, a steadiness that soothed her restless spirit. When he spoke of his late wife, his voice trembled with reverence, not bitterness. Claire admired the way he carried love in his heart, without letting grief harden him. It was a reminder that true love never dies. It changes, lingers, and sometimes makes room for more. One evening, Daniel invited Claire and Lily to a small gathering at the harbor. Lanterns glowed along the pier, music drifted across the water, and townsfolk mingled like one big family. Claire hadn't felt part of anything for years, yet that night she laughed freely, holding Lily's hand as they twirled beneath the stars. When Daniel joined, pulling Claire close, her laughter melted into something deeper, something that terrified her with its intensity. Later, as the crowd dispersed, Daniel walked her home. They paused beneath the lighthouse, its steady beam cutting through the night. "You make Lily happy," he said quietly, "and you make me remember what it feels like to live again." His words struck her heart with both joy and fear. She wanted to believe them, but a shadow from her past whispered she wasn't meant for love that lasted. Claire had never told Daniel why she came to Southport. He didn't know about the fiancé who had left her for someone else, or the years she had spent building walls around her heart. The scars of betrayal still ached, and though Daniel's kindness threatened to heal them, a part of her feared being broken again. Yet, when she looked at him, she couldn't deny what she felt. Something real. Something worth the risk. One night, after Lily had gone to bed, Claire and Daniel sat on the porch, listening to the waves. The air was cool, scented with salt and jasmine. Daniel reached for her hand, his fingers warm against hers. "I don't know what tomorrow holds," he admitted, his gaze steady. "But I do know this, I want you in it." Claire's breath caught, and tears filled her eyes. It had been so long since anyone had chosen her so simply, so completely. She wanted to answer, to tell him she felt the same, but the words tangled in her throat. Instead, she leaned against him, resting her head on his shoulder as the night wrapped them in silence. It was enough, for now. Love was blooming between them, delicate yet undeniable, and though fear lingered at the edges of her heart, Claire could no longer ignore the truth. She was falling for Daniel. The summer that was meant to be an escape was becoming something far greater. With every shared smile, every gentle touch, every laughter that echoed against the waves, Claire realized she was no longer running from her past. She was running towards something new. And though she didn't yet know where it would lead, one thing was certain: her life would never be the same again.